Tales from the Casino Pit, a podcast where we share stories with people from the casino industry. Now, here's your cast: John, Mike, Danielle, Michelle, Pippa, and Jay.
Well, hello, welcome to the podcast Tales from the Casino Pit. Okay, English. My name is Jay. Hello. Good start, Wednesday. You can find me on social media at Casino Dealer Jay. My two co-hosts today are...
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm glad that Jay messed up the intro, because whenever I try and do it on my own, I always mess it up. And I was like, hey, look, Jay's human too. He can mess it up just like I can.
Thanks for that. Thanks for pointing that out. That's great.
I'm glad for that too. You're human. There we go. You messed up.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
My name is...
I'm Mike. Sorry. That's John didn't do it.
Exactly,
now you're making me do it? What's going on?
Yeah.
Whoops,
for those who are
right.
listening on the podcast, guess who we are? Yeah. Which one of the intros are we?
Quick comment here. Did you sleep in? That's what it feels like. Yeah, it's a Wednesday. You know, then when the snow comes out and you start shoveling, right, Mike? Is that what you did today?
Yeah, of course. Shoveling and just everything's a little off, and I miss summer now.
All good. So before we start, we are streaming over 3 platforms: Facebook. Hello, everybody on Facebook, the Casino Industry Canada group, and everybody in the YouTube channel, the Casino Dealer J YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing. Mike, you got a new toy there. Some new...
Yeah. No, I got a really cool hand-me-down from my grandma, actually. It's this is the pic I sent to Jay, but it's a gaming table, and it opens up into a roulette table. There's a couple sides. It flips over to chess, poker, and backgammon. There you go. It's really cool. It's a unique piece. It's really old. But it's fun to play. It's a single zero wheel, so we can have some fun with that.
Yeah, that looks really cool. So that thing slides together?
Yeah, it slides together. I guess it's my mom thinks it's from the 30s. I've asked some questions. I don't know. It seems kind of a little more recent than that, but it's old. It's solid wood. It's God, is it heavy? That whole thing is heavy, but it's really cool. It's a really cool piece. So I took it.
That's awesome.
Did your grand run some underground casino in like the 30s?
Right?
With when he would be like the rum runners, and it's like, okay, flip the table. Everyone's playing chess.
Right? Like, I mean, I was thinking of that. Like, I mean, it's like it's that era, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like. I'm sure they didn't, but like, could it be from one of those underground casinos or anything like that? Because it's old. It's got like these inlays and everything. It's a really cool piece, and it is heavy. Oh my God, is it heavy?
Well, you have to stand up the drunken gamblers. It's got to be,
Right.
it's got to be steady. Yeah, and Donald said as well, it's a French roulette table.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's really cool. Awesome. All right. So it is our first snowfall of the year, and we just finished Halloween. So I guess my first question for the two of you: how stingy were you with the treats? Were you giving the little small, tiny ones, or were you a full-size bar type of house? What do we expect from John and Mike here?
Mikey, you go first.
Okay, I was not at home. I haven't been home for years for Halloween. We go out to a friend's house, and we do buy candy, and we hand out there, and the kids go out. Now that they're older and everything, they can go out a little bit by themselves. But we were handing out full-size candy bars.
Nice.
Mixed.
Yeah.
To be honest, when when I'm usually at home, well, when my kids were small and my wife, one of us would take them out. Usually, my wife would take them out, the kids out to trick or treat. I'd be home and I would give fistfuls of the little candies, only because I just wanted to be over as fast as possible. Because my two little dogs would go mental every time, every like 2 seconds, because you can see through the, like there's my door and there's a side light next to it, so they can see all the, the costume kids coming up, and they lose their mind, and I'm like, oh, it's like the worst night ever. So I just like in the end, I just give like handfuls. There you go, thanks. There you go, thanks. But actually, this year though, I woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning the night before, and I couldn't go to sleep. And I was like awake all night, and I fell asleep about 7 o'clock, and I woke up and everything had gone. My wife had gone out and my son had gone out. I didn't do nothing. I was like, oh, I guess that's it for this year.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, for us, just new chair here.
Moved.
Yeah, everything moved. I do full size bars, but I get them like I spent $20, I think, a couple months ahead of time, and then I just get like 20 bars and then 20 bars. But our neighborhood is not very good. We don't get a lot of kids around here. I think maybe I had 50. So we always, it's not that bad. Yeah, and now it's just all the rest of them, all the other ones that we have are just piled up, and now my son's gonna eat them all, which is great. Diabetes, here we go.
Your son, aka you.
Yeah, me. It's me. I'm lying. It's all for me. All right. It's an open format today. If you have any questions, everybody watching, you can feel free to put them in the chat, and then we will try to answer it. Ask us anything. But I do have a string of questions here. Oh, we got some comments though. No, it's porn. Forget the porn.
We're just gonna play porn now. That's it.
Exactly.
It's just
we need to tell Daryl to keep it clean. Keep it in your pants, Daryl. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, casino first, or do you want just a general question here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your favorite casino themed video game? I already know my answer. Do you have one?
Your answer is my answer.
I don't think my answer is your answer.
It's got to be, because I don't have a clue. I don't think I've ever played a casino themed video game. I don't.
No, I don't.
Wow, really? Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I have two actually, and they were together because they were on the. Well, they weren't together, but when I was growing up, and this is probably what got me into gambling. It was for the Intellivision. There was one. It's called Blackjack and Poker, and I'm definitely gonna play that on the channel, and you're gonna have to see that because it was this really mad dealer. Like when you would win, you'd get pissed off, and his eyes would just go bad. He'd be like, "You dick."
I do remember that. We had the Intellivision. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And also, well, I had horse racing, and that's kind of where I grew up because my dad worked at Northlands there. So he's like a parimutuel. I don't even know the term, what he was doing. He's the guy that, he's like, what do you want to bet? And then he put it in. So it was really cool. Like we had horse racing, which was really fun game. It was like 4 horses and you got to control one. And it was, I don't know. I just remember that from the Intellivision. I don't remember anything else, but those 2 games were like really, really good. So,
I don't remember horse racing. I remember the Blackjack and Poker, actually. I don't think I played it a lot as a kid. Like, I think this is not that long ago. I don't want to age ourselves, right? But yeah, I do remember that, actually. I think my parents actually still have that system. I don't know if it still works. I got to try to boot it up.
That's cool.
I remember years ago in the UK, I think it was the UK, you could get this game and it was kind of like a DVD. So it wasn't that, or maybe it was a VHS thing, but it was a recorded horse races. And it would you'd bet on, you put it in and you'd bet on these horses. You see them on TV and then you bet on them because, they were from whatever they were and who knows where they were. But and it was somebody talking over. So you didn't know it was a famous horse or whatever. And you could bet on that. But that was kind of cool. That was a long time ago as well.
That's amazing.
No, that's
Come
awesome.
up with that. Bet on old games. Old races.
Yeah. So like obviously there's millions of races going all the time, so nobody remembers all
Yeah.
of them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a system. I just never bet on the white one. That was it. Just don't bet on the white horse. The white horses never win. I never win either when I did that either. So no big deal.
All right. A quick comment from Daryl. Took 200 out of the bank 10 days ago. 2,200 now from poker at Argyle, River
Ooh.
Cree, and Yellowhead. Wow, good job.
Nice.
Way to go,
Awesome.
Donald.
Good brag story. Excellent. All right.
Good job.
Okay, next question. What's the best one-hit wonder song?
The best.
The best.
Okay. Come On Eileen was really popular.
Oh, God damn it, John.
Right? Dexy's Midnight Runners pretty much never had anything else after that. But here's another one. It's not the best, but it was the most probably annoying one. Remember the Macarena? I have a story about that. But anyway, remember the Macarena?
Yes, we remember.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody remembers the Macarena. But, oh yeah. So go on, Mike. You go next.
No, that was, damn it. I had Dexy's Midnight Runners. That was in my running. Okay, you know what? Because I think it was my first crush, I am gonna go with I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's mine.
Okay.
So the Macarena, when it came out in was it 96, 90, whenever it was my first time. I was working for Royal Caribbean, and I think it was over Christmas, so 96, 97, that kind of roundabout there somewhere. And I remember it was a super busy cruise, and this group came on, and they were all probably in their 40s, like couples, and they were awful human beings. They were just awful. They would come on the craps table. If anybody's playing there, they'd be so obnoxious to try and get everyone else to leave so they could take up the whole one end. There was 8 of them or whatever. And, the casino's busy. And every time they won, they would scream at the top of their voice and sing that bloody song and do the dance as well. Remember that? All that stupid stuff. I remember one time this woman, and this one night they were winning so much money. And this woman was right next to me. I'm on stick, and she's screaming in my ear the song. And I'm on stick, and I was like, after 3 hours, I'm like, I've had enough of this. So I turned around to her and I said, "You need to stop shouting in my ear!" And really loud at her. And then by the time I got around to the base, the boxman's like, "Okay, the manager wants to see you in the office." I can't remember what the manager was now. So I go in there, and he went, "You've got to apologize to her." I said, "I can't hear. None of us can hear. They're shouting so loud." And he goes, "Doesn't matter. You can't shout at a passenger just because she's shouting in your ear." I was like, "Okay, fine." And he was like, you see little children when they're like, "I'm sorry." And then they don't mean it. So I had to was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And that was it. Yeah, it was a joke.
It's funny. All right.
That's really good. Oh,
Okay. Yes.
Are we going? Okay, no.
No. Keep going. You got another one, right?
Breakfast at Tiffany's. There we go. Deep Blue something. Is that it?
Oh yeah, I remember the song. I can't remember who sang it.
I don't know who sang it either, but yeah, it's a good one.
What about Deep Blue something?
There was remember Chumbawamba? Remember that? Was it Tub Thumping?
Oh, Tub Thumping.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was a good one. Yeah.
Nice. New comment from MJ. Hey, MJ. Nice to see you.
Hey, MJ.
To the chin. So many one-hit wonders they play at casinos, but I'm going with Begging by Madcon, a remake they don't play. That Madcon version, I love it more than whatever that last one was. So, yeah. Begging you. All right. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the new version's good too, but I still like that Madcon one. Very good. Eiffel 65. It's been in my head for months. Months. Yeah. That's the one.
I don't know if those are the words. I'm just saying that.
Okay, here's another question. Just in case for those of you that don't know. Boom. This is my son. We won a 2023 Stanley Cup grand prize, which was really awesome. He's excited. It's official now. We filled the waivers and stuff. We're just emailing it in. So now we'll have to figure out where we're going. Anyways, I got the card. See?
Awesome. That is
really
so cool.
Yeah. So yeah, this prize card is really, I don't know, it's fun. It's fun. I don't know if we get to keep it or not, but it's such a nice memento. No matter what's gonna happen, watch it be here in Edmonton. I swear to God. You get a Stanley
You could
Cup
have traveled to
trip.
Rogers Place.
Wow. Yeah. It's like, I'm still going on the plane. I don't care. Round trip. I don't know. Take me to Red Deer. Take me back. Whatever. So my question for you is, if you had a lucky son that pulled that card out, where would you want to go for an NHL game? Let me help you. Here are the cities.
Thank you.
Which NHL city would you want to visit? That's
For
tough,
me,
eh?
because it's just snowed today and it's miserable and we're about to get like shitty weather for the next God knows how many months, 6 months. It probably seems like it'd have to be Tampa, just to get out of just somewhere warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no
see, I'm
snow.
with you. I'm with you, Tampa, Anaheim. But if you want a trip to the finals, now it's springtime, so everything's like nice and melty and kind of nice. I don't know. Are you talking about just an NHL game in general or the finals?
The exact prize that we have here.
That exact prize?
Where would you want to go?
New York.
Either New York?
The Rangers. New York.
Yeah, MSG. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that's on the top of our list. And then if it was a Western, it would be Vegas. I mean, yeah, in all honesty, it doesn't really matter, I guess, because it's gonna be an amazing game no matter what, right? So
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the
Yeah,
experience
well-
is just going to be cool, though, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In all honesty, though, I so wish it's going to be in Edmonton. Just so it's like the story just gets better. It's like I won this Willy Wonka golden ticket to go anywhere to the finals, and I stayed home and just got dropped off by Uber at Rogers.
That's why there's a big conspiracy going on. I think Tim Hortons knows we're going to make the playoffs, so all the winners are from
Exactly.
Edmonton, and they're like, oh, yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
I heard there was another.
Oh,
I
no.
heard there's another winner. In the radio, they were talking. Well, they were saying that there was like a miracle, and I was just like, okay. I sent the message, and I'm like, "Are you talking about the grand prize winner in Edmonton?" And then Lieutenant Eric was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "My son pulled that card." He's like, "Well, this other dude said he won a grand prize." I'm like, "What?" So there could be like two in this city, which is crazy. But this is the second grand prize. This is the it's not the main one. There's 5 of these in the country.
Mhm.
And so there's going to be 5 winners, and then they take a guess. So there's going to be 10 of us watching a finals game. But the main prize is to go see Sidney Crosby. So he gets to go. Whoever the winner is gets to go to a game where the Penguins are playing, and then they get 10 minutes with Sidney Crosby after, which is okay. But I would probably take the Stanley Cup game over that.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah,
A couple comments here. New York or Vegas. Yeah, see,
Mm.
those are the two that we're hoping for. The problem with Vegas, that means Edmonton is in the final. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Good
that's
point.
true. That's true. I don't know if I really want to put on another jersey. That's the thing. Unless what if this is Calgary, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, you just cheer for the other team, wouldn't you? Be like,
just give me the other jersey, please.
yeah. Can I just wear the Tim Hortons one? You know, just whatever.
Congratulations, you're taking the red arrow down
Oh my
and
god.
giving back after the game.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, that's funny. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully,
No, that's really
it's a
cool.
good. Yeah, hopefully it's a good story come spring. So, All right. Craps question for you. Well, not a craps question. You guys have management experience. This question came up and it was a really good one because I really had a hard time answering it. And I'll tell you why. But if you're scheduling, should you always have your dealers scheduled at their strongest games? Or do you want them to rotate through? If you're the owner of the casino, so it's like you got 10 dice dealers and 4 of them are just amazing. Everyone else is mediocre. But those 4 other dice dealers deal everything else. Are you one to rotate them through, or do you want your strongest crew on all the time? Your strongest people on roulette, your strongest poker dealers dealing poker.
Mikey's deep in thoughts.
Damn, you put me.
I gave you these questions before.
Yeah,
I
know. I forgot about that one actually. I don't. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Let's see.
Okay, John.
I
John, you
okay.
go first.
I did do the reading beforehand. Mikey obviously was, he was napping. But that's okay. I think so. Okay, so when we used to be on ships, remember, like the first night of the cruise, because it's surprising, you don't know what the action's going to be like. They put all the best dealers on craps and all, whatever, just because they don't know what the game's going to be like. And then as soon as they understand what the game's like, they'd be like, you know what, anybody can deal this. So then they get the new dealers on, or people who weren't as strong, because they need to get better. Unless you're on the game, you don't get better, right? It's like you can't learn to swim by reading a book, right? So you have to go in there and experience it and deal the game to get better at it. But I think on land-based casinos, I really like the having been in part of it like a dice crew, because then you get better working as a team. And you obviously you have to bring trainees in, but the trainees come in, and when they're overwhelmed, you take them off and you go somewhere else, right? Because you don't want to get make the experience dealing it like horrendous. You'd be like, oh my god, this is and then you just sweating and like, oh my god, coughing all the time, like So I think you have to give people the opportunity to get better, and the only way they get better is by being on the deal in the game, right? So like say for instance, when I first came to Edmonton, there was great people who dealt, and they were great on other games, but they were new to craps. To just keep them on their other game, it wouldn't have been really fair, because they couldn't get better at craps because they were always dealing like piker or poker or roulette or whatever, right? Sick bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe kind of use a sports analogy for that, like being a coach, right? If you have a busy night and you are slammed, you're packed, right? You're playing the best team in the world. You want your A crew on the best possible areas, right? You're putting your top lineup out. When you're a little slower and everything, now's the time for the rookies and the other people, the trainees, to get some experience in the game. Yeah, it's tough, right? Like, I mean, I don't, if it's slammed and it's really busy and you can judge the game, right? We've all been there. We know we can kind of judge a night and everything, and see, okay, we need this crew on here, we need this crew on high limit, we need these people here, but not be willing to change it if it goes differently, if it goes sideways, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting my point across.
No, but I kind of agree with you, Mike. I mean, like, you put the dealers on, it's like, you put them on there, and once they become overwhelmed, they would move off and somebody else would come on, right? Because then you're changing the experience too, right, for the players. So like, okay, everything's going like roulette. If it's a fast game, or craps, it's a fast game. And if all of a sudden the experience is changing by the person, the dealer, then they need to they'd swap them out, and somebody else will go in and a stronger dealer. But I don't think you should. But obviously when it's quiet, you don't know sometimes, right? The game starts off, it's like a Wednesday afternoon. I remember one time I was in London, and it was like a Thursday afternoon. It was dead. And I was just I'm like, oh, okay, just kill time. We're going to be off at 7. I go out drinking and partying. And then we had 25 American pilots came in and just swamped the craps table. And because I dealt craps abroad, and they were all playing the the boarding game. They're like 2 come-bets, full odds. But in Britain at the time, people didn't pay come-bets and odds. So all the experienced dealers were like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. It was just crazy.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I always think of it as a hockey lineup. You know what I mean? You always want to put your best people out there, but okay, so you're playing the Arizona Coyotes today. We're going to give some other people a chance to sharpen their skills, to learn some stuff and see what they do. And maybe sometimes you got to bump somebody up in the lineup and they do great, right? That's the learning experience.
Michelle says that. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say that people learn at different speeds too, right? I mean, some games I picked up pretty quickly. You know, someone told me that I picked craps up pretty quickly compared to somebody else, and in my class at the time. And you know, I spent more time on it because I picked up quicker than them. But I think we all have an opportunity to kind of like, you know, if you're given the opportunity, I should say, if you know, once we're on the game, you know, to pick it up at as well as we can until all of a sudden you're overwhelmed, and then go like, okay, time to you know, to sit down, go and play something else, and then you know. Not get overwhelmed.
And there's a time, it's like when you're a rookie dealer and everything, and you get pulled from a game on a busy game. I know it happened to me, and this game was insane, and I was pulled. I was unhappy about that, right? But Lars replaced me. How can you be unhappy with that, right? Like, you know, if I'm getting pulled for Lars, all right, okay, I'm not living up to his standards. I know that right now, but it's the kind of thing that you have to go on the fly, and yeah, you want your best, but you want the people to train, you want the people to learn, and you want the people to progress too. So it's yeah.
What are your thoughts, Jay? Then
well, let's get a couple comments here first. Daryl, walking on sunshine, spirit in the storm.
The waves.
Yeah.
Mambo number 5. There's one I can't get out of my head. One hit wonders for those of you just jumping in here. I don't know what we're talking about. Daryl says I'd keep 3 of the strong ones on dice and rotate on 1 weaker one. Hopefully learning. Yeah. Okay. Michelle thinks that your analogy is actually great. I think if you're working on the ships, like if you're the manager on the ships and you're getting a cut, for sure, your best crew will be there because you want more rolls, you want more money, they get more tips. Nobody gets pissed off. You're not going to lose your game, right? So you always have your strongest people there, which kind of sucks for somebody new. Like, what if you're like the 5th best dude on there and it's now like you're okay, sorry, you're going to have to go to Caribbean Stud. You're the best Caribbean Stud dealer here. It's like, okay, that sucks.
Ships are a different animal, right? Like, I mean, that's a different story. I was thinking more land-based, but that's okay. I can argue with you on that one, right? Daryl says have to be aware and flexible throughout the night. Oh, look, it's Christy. Hey, hello,
Christy. 10 heart 10. There's a perfect 10. Christy, a perfect 10, just like my ex-girlfriend.
What was this?
Who stopped liking me because she dated what? Oh, the moose. Oh,
the moose.
Geez, where have you been, Mike?
Sorry, I've been away, obviously.
Christy was using that stick call for a while. Yeah. So, anyways, we're trying to give her like dice calls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta hear the one with the moose. Sorry, but hello.
Moose on the loose. Anyways. All right. Thanks for ruining that, Mike. All right. And Daryl says managers didn't run the break list on ships very often. Okay.
That's true.
Right.
But a lot of the times, like just saying break list, because I mean, over here, like a lot of times it's just rotations, right? Just for those people who don't know what a break list is. I mean, literally, it was just like, okay, here's all the people. And it usually was like, okay, who's first out, second out? You know, you started early, so you just follow that down. And so, but a lot of time you game it. You go, okay, if where's Mike? Okay, Mike's second on the list. Mike's on Caribbean. So if I go up first, I take off the, you know what I mean? Like, because you end up being like, I don't want to go on that game because that sucks. Or there's that people on it, I don't want to deal to. So you're like, okay, I'll go blast. And then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So to counter your analogy, Mike, I would probably on land, I would probably mix it up. Well, maybe not all the time, but I would definitely mix it up a little more often than normal, because now you're reliant on 4 people, and then that's when they get complacent, and then they start messing around and they start doing stuff. I would rather have like 2 goalies trying to challenge each other, right? And whoever's doing a better job, like after a certain amount of time, it's like, yeah, you're on the table, because you're not screwing around. You're doing the job. And if you're not doing the job, then no.
Well, yeah.
But then again, that doesn't mean it's not your best people then in the end, right? But yeah.
No, but like, I mean, if you don't do that, you don't have a succession plan, right?
If you
Like,
keep
if
your
you're not
strongest
training
people, if you keep your strongest people, you don't have a succession plan. It's always those 4
that's it,
people.
yeah.
Look at our pit boss list. Remember the seniority? It's like I was like 13th. I went on the ships. I came back. I was 11th. Like there's no way of like getting up, right? Like I left and came back, and I still like only 2 spots moved up, right? Like it was just ridiculous, right? So it was like, okay, you're not gonna, you can't have a good succession plan unless you balance it out. But I get it. You're gonna have like a crappy table, and then you're gonna lose the game because like people get pissed off because you got your weaker dealers on, and they're messing stuff up.
Because I've always thought though that the dealing experience, like the player shouldn't have a worsened experience because of a HR problem not keeping the good dealers on the table, right? Because like you say, I mean, like this game sucks, everyone's crap. Well, all the good dealers left. Well, then I'll just go where the good dealers are and I'll play there because the experience is better, right? So I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's not the player wants to come and have the best possible gambling experiences they have, right? So it shouldn't really be like their fault. Like if you've only got 5 dealers and they're all one of them's good and the other 4 are bad, well, that's just the way it is. Right? That's the experience you have. But I don't know. I think you're only going to get better dealing the game, right? But at some point, people get overwhelmed. We all have. I mean, we've all got benched. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I used to do roulette. The first game I ever dealt was roulette, and we had 12 roulette games in the casino I worked in. And for the last 15 minutes, the pit boss, and he used to literally manage the break list well. He'd be like, okay, we've got to get all the trainees off for the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the hour, because it was insane. Like the last, because everyone's trying to get that last spin in and, gambling, whatever. And if you were the last person dealing on the last table, it was terrifying, those last 3 spins, because there's like money coming everywhere. And you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go home.
I'm going to cry.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like with specific break schedules and rotations and everything that are just set all the time, right? They're land-based, they're always just set and everything. I think you should be able to, go on the fly and change it up, right? Okay, listen, I'm gonna put these trainees on because they need experience, and then okay, now we're getting busy, we're switching around, right? Yeah. We're switching back to the big ones because, people need to learn, and at the same time, you need to have your best people on the busiest games. So it's kind of, you have to pay attention when you're the boxman, when you're the pit manager, when you're the games manager, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? You should be able to switch it up on the fly like they do in hockey.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. All right. We talked about ships. My ship question for you this week: who was the most interesting passenger you met while you were on the ships? I would say passenger because there's a lot of fun dealers, but a lot of the time it's just like, oh man, these passengers are pretty flaky and old and boring, and I really want them to go. But did you ever find somebody like really awesome?
I'll give Mike a chance because I've read these questions, so I've thought about this before.
I've seen that too, and I thought about it, and I was thinking about it, but there's a lot. So
there's a lot. Okay, let me start then. There was a there was a girl I was dealing blackjack to, and she's actually from Vancouver, and then she was a writer, and she was probably the most interesting person that I ended up dealing to in my contract. And I don't know, it was so cool to kind of hear like her story. Because you're 21, like I was 21 when I was on the ships, and I'm like, wow, like how do these people like afford to go on a cruise? Because we're 18, 19, like Mike, we went to Vegas, right? And it was just like we ran out of money in like 2 days. And like to imagine like going on a ship. When I first started, when I got on there, I'm like, wow, this is like elegant, this is amazing. Look at all these rich people. In my mind, I was like, oh, it's all these rich people, just blowing their money, and it's crazy. But that was the first person, this lady, this young lady, she was down to earth, right? And she was like in her like 20s, probably late 20s, and she was like a writer. She made like a lot of money, and she had like 2 dogs and stuff. But it was just so cool, like to be able to talk to her and just like find out her story and like how she was successful. And it's funny because like we ended up in the disco one night, and I know like there's a rule, you can't sleep with passengers. Like I knew for sure, like I'm not gonna like risk my job or anything like that. But we were up there and we were having drinks, like I was after shift, and like she was showing me her stuff. And then this officer comes up, he's like, it's time for you to go. And I'm like, what? It's like 9:30. It's 9:30. So no, it's time for you to go. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here, right? So it's like, yeah, he like booted me out so we could like hang out with this girl. And then like, yeah, it was so dumb. Like I'm like, oh my god, I feel like such a child, right? So and then she comes into the casino the next day. She's like, that guy was stupid. I'm like, yeah, he sure was. Like officer power. I'm like, check this out. Look at me. I was like, okay, whatever, dude. Anyways, that's my story. Probably the most interesting person. I mean, there was a lot of like really cool Georges that were playing, and they tip us a lot of money. But I mean, that's just like every other cruise. But you don't really get to, they're nice, right? It's like, oh, you're a nice person, and that's great. But you don't really hear like their story, and a lot of them are reserved. So,
yeah, no, that's true.
All right.
Okay. Myself or John, do you want to go first?
You can go first, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, myself, the most interesting one, non-famous one. His name was Joe. I won't go with his last name. Actually, we're still friends. This is 18 years ago. Italian guy from New York, and this guy is like a young Joe Pesci. Like, I mean, I'm serious. This guy talks like Joe Pesci. He's got the moves and everything like that, right? We hit it off like the first night and everything, and we're in the disco. We're at whatever, I think it was Jester's on the Adventure, but we're drinking, and there's a couple other people from the casino and everything. We're getting along. He's a great guy. His girlfriend's awesome and everything like that. We have a sea day the next day. The day after that, we're walking down, and I think it's oh god, I think we're in St. Martin, and he comes to me, goes, "You get a discount at the jewelers?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think we get a ship credit and everything." He's like, "Here's $6,000. I want a Rolex." I'm like, "Right? You're sending me $6,000 in cash." And he's like, "I just want a black one." I'm like, "What?" Like, huh? Goes, yeah, I want a black Submariner, right? And like, I mean, let me know if you need any more. I'm like, okay. So I bought the guy a Rolex with his money, obviously. Like, yeah, okay, here was $5,700. Here's your change. She goes, no, here, keep it. Let's go out. And it was just the whole thing. It was like, I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was like, he was awesome. He's the most memorable character that I've seen. Not only the actions and the like the like he was a young Joe Pesci, like I said. Just everything, right? It was just one of those things like, whoa.
Nice. John.
I suppose this was kind of weird. Maybe interesting, but it's weird too. So, when I was 21, I've told you this guys before, I worked on this illegal casino. I didn't know it was illegal at the time, kind of gambling ship in Israel. And so he used to go from Eilat and he'd go into the Red Sea, whatever, in the park, and speedboats used to go back and forth. So we go to work on a Boston whaler it was amazing. So such a crazy place and crazy time. And one night this guy came on, and they were only small little ships, right? We had like 3 roulette tables. And this guy came on and he owned an illegal casino in Tel Aviv. And so the people running it were kind of like one of Israel's biggest organized crime families. So they were just hardcore gangsters. And this guy was a hardcore gangster from Tel Aviv, coming to gamble on this ship. And he was playing in like $100 chips. And you think this is 30 odd years ago. He's playing $100 chips on roulette on the numbers, and it was huge bets. And the one spin, he won 200, like it was over $250,000. And he was didn't trust anybody at all. He made them pay out every single bet. So there was like splits, corn, every single one, not all together, because they were like, I don't trust you, whatever. And he made them okay. And so all the splits on this one, okay, how much does that pay? I want that, and this much cash. This one, okay, that one, and you have to pay him all out individually. And he tipped like crazy because he's like, it doesn't matter. Like he just like, but yeah, it was like you had like a gangster gambling with other gangsters, and we're all in the middle going, this place is messed up. It was so weird. It was
That's crazy.
So that was pretty memorable.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
All right, sweet. Okay. Next thing that happened the last couple of weeks, I believe it's Lewis Bull. I think that's the right way of pronouncing it. It's not Louis. The Lewis Bull tribe is celebrating the start of construction for the Bear Hills Casino and Travel Resort south of Edmonton. They break ground on a casino. So now there's another casino. This is a First Nations casino. I believe Daryl was the one that mentioned that new casino south of Edmonton on the QE2. Yeah. So that's new, right? Here's my question. Is there such a thing as too many casinos? I've been thinking about which way to answer this. I've been yesing and knowing.
I don't know. Yeah, there is, right? Like, I mean, if you saturate a market with casinos when there's not enough players in the first place, then what's the point, right? I don't get it. The First Nations one, I don't know. Like that's quite a bit outside of Edmonton. Am I correct? Like, I mean, it's like a 40-minute drive, so it's not a.
It's like a rest stop type of casino, right? So like it's a way for you to take a break if you're doing a long drive. You know how Whitecourt was set up? You know, like if you need to like get some gas and like take a break, why don't you go play some slots? It's a similar concept. So it's not something to like take a market or anything. It's more of like for those transient people, the people that are going through and passing between Edmonton.
Yeah, right. Trucker stop, gas stop, and rest stop. Yeah, no, I get that. That's different. That's a little different than a casino. I don't think that's going to take much of Edmonton business, if any, honestly, right? But yeah, I mean, as soon as you start opening up more casinos, the one proposed in Ellerslie, right? If we get a couple more, I think. Loretta mentioned that there's more proposed sites going on there. How many people? Right, we have a population of 1.1 million, 1.2 million, maybe. We're not Vegas. We're not Vegas North either. I mean, it's just it's not. There's too much already, I think. So.
John, before you answer, just a quick comment. Hello, Kevin. It's gonna be expensive bathroom break going to Edmonton. Yeah, that's a comment.
That's true, though. I don't know. I kind of agree. I mean, like that one's different because it's out of the way and it's kind of like you can laugh. It'd be like, okay, let's go to Edmonton to gamble, and then you lose it before you even get to Edmonton. You're like, what the hell? Okay, what am I going to do now? I've got 2 days in Edmonton. I blew all my money on the truck stop coming here. But I agree with Mike. I mean, like at some point, the number of casinos should be proportional to the size of the city, right? I mean, okay, if the city grows like, I don't know, 25, 30%, well, then maybe you can support more casinos. But the problem is there's not enough gamblers for the ones we have today. There's not enough dealers for the ones we have today. And look at the times we're at right now. It's tough times. Everything's more expensive. People have less money to go gamble. So we just build in more empty casinos. And I think the only one really who benefits is Alberta Gaming because there's more slot machines out there. I don't think that the casino makes more money. Like the new ones make more money. The charities make more money. The dealers. I mean, like I say, I just think it's another way to just how can we throw in more like slot machines somewhere new, right? So that's the only benefit I see from it. Otherwise, yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea to have so many. And they all do the same thing. It's not like, okay, we're going to have a themed casino. This is, then it'd be different. Then it'd be like, oh, look, it's a Polynesian casino. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Circus is opening it up in the north. Like, let's go.
Exactly. You can imagine, like, okay, we're going to go to all of a sudden, West End is like, we're going to be the pirate casino. And everyone's dressed like pirates. And it's like, pirate thing. Ah! You know what I mean? That'd be funny, right? But if it's all the same, like, then I don't know.
You can already see like a lot of the casinos here, they've gotten rid of some games. So not every casino has craps. Not every casino has poker. That was surprising because normally you'd want a lot of poker action and there was a lot of poker players, and now it's like cut in half. And there's only maybe 3-4 casinos, 3 that have poker. I mean, a lot of it has to do with like online gambling.
Significant poker too, right? Like, I mean, not just a poker room.
It
was like a significant poker turnout, and it's craps too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's like I don't think AGLC cares. It's like if you have like half a casino because it's all slot machines anyways, and they get the same cut no matter what, right? So
they get the revenue. And it is, I guess. Why would you care if you're getting the same, or maybe more, bringing a slot machine closer to somebody who couldn't go to
the location. It's just that in Edmonton, it's just like we want to make it like a block away from everybody. It's like walking distance for Edmonton, Calgary, for the whole population, walking distance to one. Yeah, it's
so you get blazing sevens at every bus stop.
I think we should have a bus and just fill it with slot machines and just have it traveling around. It's like like the bus. I'm not going anywhere. I just wanted to play, so I just get on the bus, lose my money, get off next stop, and then walk home because I have no money left.
Hey, you know what? I think we know a driver for that. I think he's on here, so maybe we can.
Like, can you imagine that? I mean, like all of a sudden, it just drives. Yeah, it just drives around the Henday. Like,
we'll come to you.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll come and pick you up. We won't drop you off because you've got no more money left.
We're not picking you up. We're just dropping off in front of your house, and you just walk on.
Exactly.
When you're done, we'll just get off.
The Ring Road Casino.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. We just driving around.
Oh my god. Yeah, just around the Henday, right? Just like all 4 quadrants. You stop for like 15 minutes. You better catch this one.
Exactly. Okay. Can you imagine that though? Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Wow. There you go. You just made it's $1 million idea there. 4 buses and then they just rotate through. Wow. Just put them on the LRTs.
Exactly.
There's the university kids will play for sure, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my god.
I think we're on to something actually.
Yeah, I mean, just as good as combining Sigbo and Paigao together, right? Right, Mike? Yeah. When you shake those 3 dice, that should just be a Sigbo game too. Jeez.
Yep, for sure.
Someone's stealing that, I know. Someone's stealing the bus idea too. We
should act on that first. It's not like we're going to be denied a license. They're just giving out licenses now.
Exactly,
Like, let's do it.
Like, we could do it. We just bring Mikey's grandmother's gambling table from the 30s. For some reason, it's got Al Capone scratched in the side of it, with a knife.
Yeah.
Imagine having that on the bus. It's like, is this calibrated? Is it
Exactly.
balanced? Honestly.
It's got stabilizers. Don't worry.
It's a very modern bus. There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh my god. All right. Next question. If we were talking about this bus, what slot game or table game would you like to see back at the casino that's been away? Mine is the Willy Wonka slot machine with the Oompa Loompa bonus. When they took that away, I was so
That was
heartbroken.
fun. That was fun.
That was one of the best slot machines ever. I don't know. It's not there anymore.
I used to like the horse race. They were like the real plastic horses, and their legs literally move, and they would change
Ascot.
lanes.
Royal Ascot.
Royal Ascot.
Oh my
Royal Ascot.
That
God.
one I used to like playing. Out of all the,
Yeah.
I never used to play slots really. I just like I used to like getting kicked out of casinos with Kevin O'Donnell.
Oh, Royal
Yeah.
Ascot's good.
Yeah. Well, Royal Ascot I used to like playing.
They had that at St. Martin when I was there. Yeah, got off there and it was right there at
That
the
was 20
front.
years ago, man. So they might not have it anymore.
Yeah, what's it?
See, exactly. That should be on the bus. If we have a bus, that's going on the bus. Royal Ascot.
I don't know how that's gonna.
Ascot's in the middle.
Exactly. Yeah.
No idea how that's gonna fit.
Yeah. There's no seats on this bus, by the way. There's no standing room only. Only one seat, and that's the driver.
Oh my
Poker in the
god.
front, Ascot in the middle.
Ascot in the rear.
Oh, what about you, Mike?
You know what? I always kind of liked Caribbean. I'm gonna say I liked Caribbean Draw, Caribbean Stud. They were mildly entertaining games for prop games. That's
Really?
mildly entertaining. I'm not saying like I mean, heads and tails about Stook and Red Dog and what was the other one? Let It Ride or whatever.
Wild
But,
jackpot poker.
Wild Jack, yeah,
Texas
any
Hold'em
of those.
bonus.
Like, I mean, I thought it was simple. I thought it was, relatively okay to deal.
Hmm.
I didn't mind playing it. Honestly, I didn't really mind playing it. I didn't play it a lot or anything, but it was okay. That's the only thing I can think of that I miss.
Did
Kind of.
I tell
Kind
you?
of.
No, that's fine. I don't hate Caribbeans. Did I tell you my story about my first hand?
No.
No? Oh my god. So I went to Baccarat Casino, and this was during our training class, and I went with JP and Mila.
Mm-hmm.
So those two ended up going, and they were playing like blackjack and baccarat. I'm like, oh, I remember this game. I saw this game before because I was like at Palace. I was watching, I think it was Teresa deal, one of the old dealers there, and I was like, I want to play this. So I go between these two guys on the table. I'm like, hey, how's it going? You mind if I come in? It's like, no, come on in. And I go in. I get dealt my hand, and it's like Jack, 3, Jack. I'm like, shit. I was like, so I got my 5. I put my $10 behind. I had my dollar progressive bet. Put my hand together, and I tuck it underneath because I'm looking at the sign that says you're not allowed to talk about your hand. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, I don't want to lose this hand, so I tuck it underneath, and the dealer gets a pair of deuces, and it's like lucky, right? So the dealer flips over the guy's hand, flips over my hand. It's like, what the hell? You had 4 of a kind. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like, well, why didn't you flip it over and see you had a progressive? I'm like, I don't know, because it said not to talk about your hand. It's just like, you could have lost that hand. I'm like, well, I don't know. Get your rules set here, right? I'm like, at 18 years old, I don't know what else is going on, right? Anyways, so you get $500 and then the $200, so it's like $700. I'm like, thank you. I grabbed the money, I like tipped, and then I left, right? The next one hand, I go in and out. The next day, they're like, hey, you were on Caribbean, right? It's like, yeah. You know that there's like the Asian dude that was sitting to the left of you? He was looking for you in the parking lot. I'm like, what? Why? Oh, because you went in for a hand, won this money, and you just left, right? I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know anything, right? I didn't know what like etiquette was at the time. I was just in training. So yeah, my one hand, like the first hand, I got quads. So that was crazy, and then just went downhill after that.
That
but
is insane.
yeah,
That's-
so yeah, amazing. It was really fun. That $700 was really helpful. So the story of the guy looking for me after, I'm like, okay,
That's
what's he gonna do?
you know, in today's dollars, that's like some groceries and gas. That's about it. So.
It's like, yeah, just one trip.
Yeah, just one.
Oh my god. Quick comment from Vince. Vince said, "Hey Vince, if
Hey, Vince.
Hey, Vince.
if you Casino Industry Canada, if you haven't seen his videos, you need to go to his YouTube channel and check out. He's got a really cool dice table, and yeah, I was watching a couple of those videos. Really cool. I really like how you have that set up, the digital, the whole digital part of it. Really sweet. You got a lot of chips too. I saw your racks of chips and stuff. So nice setup. All right. 55 minutes. Just enough time for this last comment. John,
I got this one.
yeah, you got thrown out of a window.
I saw this one.
So years ago, when I left school, back in the day in Wales, you could either leave school at 16, or you could leave, stay on an extra 2 years and go to university. So I left at 16. I'm like, I don't want to go to university at the time, so I'm going to leave. So anyway, so for the first couple over the summer, I didn't work, and I was like just hanging out with my friends and goofing around. And then one day, my mum wakes me up and she goes, "I got you a job." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "You're working in this factory." I was like, "What do you mean it's a factory?" So my sister used to work in a factory, and like you get bags of flour and then bags of like raisins and sultanas and things like that. Well, she used to work in a factory that would just get all these bulk things and wash them and put them into these little packages. So I got a job there, and it was awful, absolutely horrible job. These massive machines. So you used to get these big, honest to God, probably like 10-kilo boxes of like raisins and sultanas, and we put them on this machine, and then you throw this box into this big kind of like bin, and then you take it to the window, and there was a trailer outside this window, and then we just throw them out into this trailer, right? And then eventually, and it was like a wire mesh trailer, and it eventually get pulled away when it got filled up, right? But it was so monotonous, so boring, and it was 3 machines, and it was really, really loud. And anyway, so one day, and I was, like I said, I was only 16, I wasn't very tall. I'm still not very tall. So anyway, so I go over there, and as I'm throwing these boxes into the trailer below, my friend, who was a big guy, comes up behind me, grabs me by the back of the neck and the shoulder, and he throws me out the window. So I'm in the first floor, and I go woof right out the window into the trailer. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I try to climb out of this mesh cage from the inside with all the cardboard boxes in there. My friend's in the window laughing his head off, but at the ground level, there's everybody else like, why did the kid come flying through the window? They have no idea. So I climb out of this mesh cage, and I'm really like so scared. Anyway, I come out and I drop down, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. They're like, what happened? Did somebody throw you out the window? I was like, I knew my friend was like married and he had young kids, and I was like, no, I fell. And they're like, you fell out of that window. There's no way you fell out of the. And I was like, I knew if I said, oh, like, he threw me, they fired him on the spot. Like, I was like, oh, no, I fell. They're like, we don't believe you. And I literally had to say, oh, no, it's true. I was an accident. I fell out the window. Literally, they're like, looking at me, looking where this trailer was. It's like, there's not a chance you fell out that window. And I had to keep saying this so he wouldn't get fired. But yeah, that was crazy. And I think that's why I'm still, to this day, scared of heights.
yeah, that could do it. That could definitely do it.
That's hilarious. It's in my head now. I can't not picture this.
Like literally into this mesh trailer, into these cardboard boxes. It was terrifying.
Oh, jeez. That's hilarious. All right. Oh, so look at that. We are hitting an hour. Thank you both for your candid answers. Thank you for prepping Mike there. I sent all of the questions ahead of time.
I did look. I was busy. I looked at some of them.
It's like, and kind of like, how many minutes of do I have to like edit out of this episode? We're at 59 minutes. It's going to be like a 17-minute episode now. All right. Final shout outs, Mr. Mike.
Thanks, everybody. It's been a while, so I'm glad to be back on. Happy winter, everybody. Everybody who commented, take care, shovel lots, and think warm thoughts.
Shove lots. Awesome. All right, John.
Like, me and my 11 friends here had a lot of fun. For those of you on the podcast, I've got 11 people behind me, or do I? No, this was a lot of fun as always. It goes back really fast, and thanks for whoever come on and commented. It was great, and to hang with you two guys is always fun.
I agree. It's nice catching up with both of you. The rest of the cast couldn't make it, but hopefully they will be coming soon. We have I don't know how we're going to set up the episodes. If there's an Oiler game, usually we don't have one. That's normally how we do our seasons through the winter. There's going to be a Christmas special, though. So we'll be giving some stuff away, and that'll happen in December. So sooner than you think. Right?
And Danny's dressing like an elf.
Is that how that works?
I was like,
No, yeah, but you will.
Yeah, the Christmas special is in December. Fancy that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So I didn't have to say that, did I? I will be in Calgary in a couple weeks, so for sure, I don't think there's going to be an episode. There may be an episode if I'm in the hotel. We'll do one. But yeah, other than that, the greatest news of all time is shout out to everybody that knows about this. I'll probably do a post on Facebook so that you guys know. But yeah, grand prize winner. So these things actually are real and they do exist. Not like the McDonald's ones where you don't know who won anything. Now you know. Tim Hortons, yes, legit. Thank you.
And there's a potentially some guy catfishing you trying to be the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, let's trade some cards here. I want to see yours. Yeah, I'll meet you in the parking lot there. Yeah. No, it's already ready.
And a Kucherov.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We'll see you next week. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.